Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition in The Stupidity of Atheism Exposed. In this edition, we'll be looking at a video by Go Green 18, Why Atheists Care About Your Religion. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Religion matters to me as an atheist because it imposes its capricious morals on me in the form of laws.
Capricious morals they're imposing on you? Well, it seems to me that you're implying Christians shouldn't impose their capricious morals on others. And when you imply this, you're implying that Christians ought not do this. And this is actually a moral prescription. So by saying Christians shouldn't do this, you are forcing your capricious morals on them, which makes you a hypocrite. And furthermore, capricious means erratic or unpredictable change. But the Christian ethic is based on God's unchanging nature, which is absolute and non-capricious. But the atheist ethic is a non-absolute, relative moral ethic, which can be considered erratic and unpredictable or capricious.
For example, blue laws which prohibit what I can do on certain days of the week.
Blue laws prohibiting certain things you could do on certain days of the week? Well, if there were no blue laws, you would be saying what people can and cannot do on certain days of the week, like prohibiting the sale of certain items. Let's go on.
The battle against making abortion legal. The Roe versus Wade overturn would be completely detrimental.
Yeah, it would be detrimental. I agree. It would be detrimental to those who want to murder children. But for the murder victims, it would be the defense of the greatest human right of all time, the right to live.
Mention the battle for homosexual equality still rages on.
LGBT advocates do not battle for the homosexual equality, but rather they battle for the redefinition of words like marriage, which means a religious ceremony that grants a man and a woman conjugal rights which is recognized by law. But people like you want to change the definition of the word in order to profane the sacred institution of marriage that has been established by God since the beginning of humanity.
Forced to giving these individuals equal freedoms is, of course, religious institutions. Institutions which incidentally don't have to pay taxes, which increases the overall burden on everybody else. Yes, that includes atheists, and churches are often the last institutions who need financial support.
501c3 it's called, and this is a tax exemption for nonprofit organizations. So how can you tax an entity that doesn't make any money? Church members donate voluntarily their money to the church for charity, like feeding the poor, commodity distributions, clothing and housing, also disaster relief, etc. How is this a burden to society? Or is it those who want to tax charities that are the real burden to society? Also, atheists usually argue for the separation of church and state, but I guess when money is involved, it doesn't really matter. Let's continue.
And what happened to I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Religious imposition in secular mediums haven't always been that way. Under God wasn't added to the United States pledge until 1954, and In God We Trust wasn't added to money until 1957. I guess the memo where we turned into a theocracy. Religion.
Well, listen, if you don't want to pledge allegiance, then don't. But I don't think that would be good enough for you. It seems you want to stop everyone else from pledging allegiance by suppressing their freedom. And likewise with the money, which actually appeared in God We Trust on coins and the $20 interest note in 1864. But the issue here is not time, but it's about when a small minority, atheists, 10% of the population, want to force others to destroy their cultural art and expression. Let's continue.
To me as an atheist because billions of innocent people have died in its name.
Billions of innocent people? A billion is 1,000 million. You're about to give a bunch of numbers that add up to 70 million, which is less than 10% of 1 billion. You say billions, your numbers add up to less than 10% of 1 billion. And even these numbers you give are misrepresented. Let's continue.
Conquest of Kalinga, the 2nd century battle for the Jewish Holy Land.
You see, there just wasn't any large groups associated with atheism until the 19th century. So any battle where people died, you can just say they did it in the name of religion, rather than go into the details about what the conflict was really about. If it goes on, why wouldn't you put the numbers up there? Well, folks, join us for the second edition in this video coming up next.